Hello and welcome to another NihongoGamer video. I hear that on Friday, February 13th, you are getting a certain new Nintendo 3DS in the rest of the world. Basically, what I think you're probably going to be asking yourself, if you don't already have one of these consoles already, or if you haven't spent $200 on a console yet, which one do you want to go for? A 3DS or a PS Vita. If you have already been playing a lot of 3DS games or Vita or PlayStation games already, you may already know because you want to continue to play those franchises. But if you haven't really jumped into this area at all before, and you're thinking of getting a new console, or maybe if you're buying it as a gift for someone else, you may want to know what the main differences are between them. Really, this is not going to be a hardcore hardware discussion. I just wanted to chat very briefly about the kinds of games you can play on them. First of all, if you are a NihongoGamer like that wants to learn Japanese, remember that this one is not really region locked. You can actually sign in and make a Japanese account if you want, which means you could download Japanese games at any time without actually going to Japan or importing an actual cartridge. If you did import the cartridge, you wouldn't even need to switch accounts, and actually switching accounts takes about 10 minutes, so it can be a bit bothersome. If you buy a cartridge game from an import store, you can put that straight into a PS Vita, any PS Vita, even the ones that you just buy out in the States, and you would not need to change your account to play it. It would be completely region free. For download stuff, you need to sort up your accounts, but it's possible. For cartridge-based games, you can put it straight in. So if you're learning Japanese, that's already one major benefit of the PS Vita. If you take a 3DS cartridge, not DS cartridges, but actual 3DS games from Japan, you will not be able to put it in your UK or US or whatever country it is you're in and play it, because it will be Japan region locked. Nintendo talks about getting rid of region locks all the time. Who knows whether they'll actually do it, but for now you can't. However, that has nothing to do with the game catalog. Now, the games on the 3DS and the games on the Vita are almost completely different. There are maybe, a few games every now and then that are on both at the same time. They do sort of dual release. But in general, the games that you can play on these are different, and a lot of the best content is actually coming directly from Nintendo. Like Super Smash Brothers. You can't play that on a Vita. You can't play Mario games, you can't play Zelda games, you can't play Yoshi games, you can't play Kirby games on a Vita. And also, if you're going to learn Japanese, so even if you're still thinking about picking one of these up, but you want to get a Japanese edition so that you can learn Japanese, you can start learning Japanese with games like Animal Crossing. I've got Puzzle & Dragons Zetto, which means just Puzzle & Dragons Z, or even Yokai Watch, and all of these games, I think even Puzzle & Dragons comes with furigana in the game, so you can actually read the Japanese, even the words that you don't know how to read, the pronunciation key is there, so you can at least practice saying it. And that is something that's phenomenal and will make your reading skills much, much better when it comes to learning Japanese. These three games specifically, you can only play on a Japanese Nintendo 3DS. Obviously, Animal Crossing is available in English, so if you're not learning Japanese, you can play that on your American or whatever English region new Nintendo 3DS. If you're thinking about your reading skills for Japanese, or even if you just want to play Nintendo games, a Japanese or a European new Nintendo 3DS is probably for you. In addition, you've got this little C-stick, so Monster Hunter, the big one. Nintendo has Monster Hunter now. I don't see them losing their grip on that anytime soon. You want to play Monster Hunter, you gotta have one of these. Or, if you're playing it on the Wii U as well. However, as a result of losing Monster Hunter, the Vita has become super, super interesting and has a lot more of these niche, crazy games. It's also more powerful. Like, we can argue all day over which one has better specs, but in the end, specs don't really matter. What matters is games, and because it's more powerful, Vita has Minecraft, and Minecraft is not going to help you immensely with your Japanese skills, so if you're thinking about learning Japanese, don't worry about Minecraft. But Minecraft is such an important game. It is literally the #1 game on PS4, the #1 game on PS Vita in the Japanese store. It's so important, and playing it on a Vita is one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had on any game. But if you're not playing Minecraft and you want just access to exclusive Japanese titles, Vita is incredible for exclusive Japanese titles. I'm not actually sure if you got the Gundam Seed Battle Destiny game out in the West, but you can get straight in and play all your giant robot games. This is the Madoka game for the anime. If you follow it, it's about magical girls and there's a lot of killing and dying. It's dark, but it's interesting. Dengeki Bunko, fighting climax. We've got fighting games like this. A lot of battlers don't end up coming to the new Nintendo 3DS. We did get Street Fighter, which was amazing, but graphically, if you want that arcade quality experience, the Vita is definitely where it's at. Phantasy Star Nova, it wasn't as involving as I was hoping for it to be, but production quality wise, this is top notch. God Eater 2, stuff like this started to come out a lot. Obviously, the original God Eater was on the PSP. As a result of not having Monster Hunter on the PS Vita, we got loads of awesome hunting action games. Now, I don't enjoy any of them as much as I enjoy Monster Hunter, but they are a lot of fun, and if you have friends that can get together and buy a copy each and play these games. God Eater, Soul Sacrifice, Tokiden, Freedom Wars, so many hunting action games available, and even if a lot of people didn't get along with Monster Hunter because it's such a heavy, technique-heavy game, so I would really consider getting a Vita for, if you're interested in that type of game. But of course, with the new Nintendo 3DS coming out, that's very enticing. Plus, if you want access to stuff like Super Smash Bros. And all these other games that are going to be great for your reading skill, then the Nintendo 3DS is something that's definitely worth considering as well. Something that's very important to me as I'm studying Japanese a lot, though, is that games on the new Nintendo 3DS rarely have voice support. Now, that's just maybe because of the size of the cartridge, or maybe because the size of the downloads. I'm not sure why. Most companies that make games for the 3DS don't tend to have a lot of voice support, whereas on the Vita, it's almost assumed that any game with a character is going to have a spoken voice part. And if you are learning Japanese, again, this is not so much for if you're playing only Western games, but if you're playing Japanese games and you want to hear and you want to practice your listening skill, the Vita really is where it's at. There are so many visual novels, which are basically like books on tape, but with pictures. Visual novels are plentiful on the Vita. If you follow the series, which is our the PSN Vita store in Japan every week, I usually find at least 3 or 4 visual novels coming out, like, every week. So there are plenty of those games. In addition, just the action RPG games, there's tons of scripted sequences with audio in here as well. I think the Vita is also aimed at a slightly older age group, the age of people who had PSPs when they were teenagers. They're kind of 25, 30 now, and they are buying the Vita a lot. The dialogue in these games, these Vita games, is actually pretty difficult. So if you're studying Japanese and you're a beginner, I would actually recommend a 3DS more, because games like Animal Crossing, like, this is super simple Japanese. Like, once you've opened a Japanese textbook and you've read like through the first chapter, you'll already be able to start understanding a little bit of what's going on in Animal Crossing. Whereas you could study for like 2 years of Japanese, pick up God Eater, and still have absolutely no idea what's going on. It's an exciting time with all these games, all these consoles coming out. New Nintendo 3DS coming out like today or tomorrow or whatever day this video goes up. But also PS Vita. This has, the slim version's been out for quite some time now, but it is a fantastic console still, and the game library is just getting stronger and stronger. Whichever one you go for, you're gonna be happy, because there are some games that are just not coming out on tablets yet. If you want these console exclusive experiences, this is still where it's at. I was trying to just cover as much as I could without being too structured. It's just a free sort of discussion about which one might be better for you, which one is better for if you're studying Japanese, and also just a short little introduction to what kinds of games are available, maybe if you're buying one of these as a gift for somebody. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, share the links on all that good stuff, and of course I will see you in the next NihongoGamer video. This is called a kotatsu. Repeat after me, kotatsu. Your fingertips will get really cold. Oh, feels nice and warm. It's really good. Happy New Year! Key making with NihongoGamer. You see something new every day.